mind and consciousness, two unparalleled dimension, unparalleled. And until and unless mind is not interacting or contacting, then nothing will happen. Mind has to contact or interact or confront. What you can say? Mind has to contact the consciousness. Then mind is able to create anything. Otherwise, mind has nothing to do. Everything has been ingrained in the field of consciousness. Mind has nothing to do with itself. Without the support of consciousness, mind cannot do anything. Mind will be collapsed. That is the preamble. Now, I am starting my talk with an example. Everybody has seen the iceberg. Iceberg on the water. Major portion of iceberg remain inside the water, and small part of the iceberg floats on the surface of the water, and little portion of iceberg evaporates and goes up to the sky. So iceberg has three dimensions. One is below, one is on the surface level, and one is evaporated and went up or goes up to the sky. So similar, the major portion of our mind is below the surface level of our conscious mind. Small amount is floating on the surface of our human brain, and one portion of human mind evaporated, I mean just like iceberg, and goes up to the sky. Today our topic is that mind which is not in our body or in our brain. The part of the mind which is below the surface, that is known as conscious mind, 9 times more powerful than the conscious mind. But it has a lot of limitation, subconscious mind, but 9 times more powerful than conscious mind, but many limitations. And conscious mind on the surface level, it is only the logical mind. It has no power. It can only interpret logic, can logically calculate only to that extent, not more than that. And subconscious mind only reciprocate the conscious mind and magnify it 9 times more, as it is more powerful, 9 times more powerful than the conscious mind. That is the limitation. Thus, then causal mind, which is beyond, which is not limited in your mind and body, in your brain, mind and body. It is not limited. It is beyond your brain and body. This is causal mind. Causal mind. Write down the term causal mind. Very miraculous, very powerful. This mind always in contact with the transcendental consciousness, with the cosmic consciousness, with the unity consciousness, with the divine consciousness. That mind has the access beyond the field of transcendental consciousness. So powerful, so powerful. That mind knows everything. That mind can do anything. Very miraculous, very powerful. But attaining that field, it needs tremendous efforts and tremendous practice to attain that mind. Your own mind, but you cannot contact it. Your own mind, but you cannot contact it, as it is beyond. Your conscious mind and your subconscious mind within your system. It is not beyond your body and brain. It is within your system, but that mind is beyond. Now I will tell you two incidents from the greatest monk, of this world, not even world, of this universe, Swami Vivekananda. I am telling you today two incidents from his life, then you will understand how causal mind works. One incident I am telling, everybody knows, I think. Everybody, all of you know. Once Vivekananda was in Germany, he was staying with his German friend. So one day he saw a book, very big book on the table. And this book was written in a German language. And he took the book and just kept in between his hands and closed his eyes. Then his German friend asked him, "This book is very complicated. I read this book several times, but I didn't understand this book. Very complicated. But you don't know German language. So what you are doing with this book? You cannot read it as it is in the German language." And Swamiji didn't know German language. So as you don't know German language, so how you will read it? And it is very complicated. Swamiji smiled and told his friend, "Give me few minutes, 2-3 minutes." After 2-3 minutes, Vivekananda replied, "My dear friend, you can ask any question from this book. I can tell you. I can answer you." Then his German friend asked several complicated questions from this book. And Swamiji answered all that questions thoroughly. And he even mentioned the page number. In particular page, what is written in a particular page, he told. His German friend mesmerized, confused. Swami Vivekananda told his German friend, "I don't need to read the book. I read the mind of the writer." That's why I know everything about the book. I read the mind of the writer. But Swamiji never met that writer. He didn't know the writer. So it happened with the causal mind. The monk like Swami Vivekananda attained that mind, causal mind. Anybody can get access to the causal mind. But before that, you have to attain the fourth level or fifth level of mind, what I explained you yesterday. Yesterday night I explained you the 5 levels of mind. Mind travels through 5 level. So mind first has to attain the minimum 4th level or 5th level. Then from that 4th or 5th level, mind can attain on or can reach that causal mind, his own mind, his own mind. It is the divine play. Then you can do that kind of things that Swamiji did. So how one can read another's mind? And even if the man is alive or dead, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. Swamiji told, if the writer of that book, German writer who wrote that book, if he is alive or dead, it doesn't make any sense. If he is dead, then also you can read the mind of that man, of that writer. I am telling you how. I am telling you. Now I am telling you another incident from Swamiji's life. Another incident. That time he was in Chicago. And he was very famous. Very famous. Everybody knew about Vivekananda in USA. And that time, Rockefeller was a very powerful man in Chicago. Rockefeller, his full name John D. Rockefeller. He was a very famous man for all his evil works, arrogancy, egoistic mind. He was a spoiled brat. I should not say like that. He was very famous. So his friends requested Rockefeller to meet Swami Vivekananda. And Rockefeller was very egoistic and arrogant man. He refused. He refused to meet Vivekananda. No, I will not meet any monk from India. He started throwing bad language, very slang language at Vivekananda. But his friends forced him to meet Vivekananda. And that time Vivekananda was staying in his accommodation. And one day Vivekananda was writing something. And that time John D. Rockefeller entered Vivekananda's room with all his friends. Vivekananda was writing something. He kept writing. He didn't even saw Rockefeller. He didn't lift his head. Then Rockefeller felt insulted. He shouted, "Hello, Indian monk. I have nothing to do with you. My friend forced me to meet you. That's why I'm here. Anything to tell me? If you have anything to say, you can tell me." Swami Vivekananda told him very politely, without looking at him. He didn't even lift his head. He kept writing. And at the same time, he told Rockefeller by calling his name, Rockefeller, you spoiled many lives. You spoiled many lives knowingly. Now it is the time, it is the high time. Do something good for the people. Otherwise, you will not get time. Every friends, Rockefeller and all his friends were stood perplexed, and confused. What to do? How he came to know about me? How he came to know about my name? What happened the moment Rockefeller entered the room? All the information of Rockefeller ran into Swamiji's mind. I will explain now. And Rockefeller went back with all his friends, and after 2-3 days, a news published in the Chicago local paper. Rockefeller given away half of his property for the welfare of the public. He contributed half of his property for the welfare of the public. The newspaper, this news published in that Chicago local newspaper. How Swamiji came to know about everything about Rockefeller, whom he didn't meet any ever. How he came to know about his name? That seems to be very spooky. That seems to be very eerie, very magical, very mysterious. But after some scientific understanding, scientific investigation, it is now any spooky or eerie event or anything mysterious or magical or miraculous. Nothing. From that onwards, from the life of Swamiji, since the life of Swamiji, all the scientists of America engaged themselves for the further study of human mind and human potential. And Swamiji is the milestone. Our Indian monk, we should be very proud of him. He became the milestone for the scientists for further study of human brain and human potential. Scientists started searching Veda to find out something about mind for their future research. So now I am telling you how this kind of things happens with Swamiji. I am telling you, whatever we are doing now, every karma, our every action is being recorded in the Akashic field. Now I am talking to you. It is being recorded in the Akashic field. Energy and information. What the scientists are telling, energy and information of human mind are everywhere in the Akashic field. This is known as Akashic record. This is known as Akashic record. We will die. The whole civilization will die. Maybe one day this globe will be evaporated. but all the information we are living here will be there in the Akashic field. The new generation will come, and if they can wish, they can get that information of human mind from Akashic field. A extensive and intensive study now is being conducted in Germany, USA, France on that topic. McGibbons writing a huge elaborated things about that. He can extract information from the Akashic field. For that you don't need anything, you don't need any instrument, any apparatus. A human mind can detect the human mind. A human mind can detect anything from the Akashic field. No instrument or no artificial intelligence can get access to it. That is the divine play. That is the divine play. So my dear friends, I am not telling you about contacting that causal mind. I am not telling you. Causal mind is beyond the transcendental field. It is more higher than transcendental field. It is in the cosmic consciousness. It is in the cosmic consciousness. I am telling you at least. I am telling you at least. You just attain the fourth or fifth level of mind. From there, you can contact the transcendental field of consciousness, the field of infinite possibilities, so that you can get infinite number of referrals for your business, for your education, for your personal individual well-being, for your education, for your family, and for the welfare of the global people, for the welfare of the world. Only to that extent. So I do hope, I do believe all of you who are watching me regularly will join hand with us to spread that kind of knowledge, the transcendental field of consciousness. You should spread the knowledge. If you do good to people, that good things will return to you. It is my belief, it is my hope, it is my faith that we jointly and we unitedly will spread that transcendental knowledge, transcendental field in the Asian continent, because there is no such movement in Asian continent. But in USA, in European countries, the transcendental consciousness is there, and they are implementing it, and they are researching it still for their further progress. And all the universities in European and USA, they are incorporated it in their university education. So my dear friend, join hand and spread that knowledge in our Asian continent. And tomorrow we will conduct webinar. Everybody will share their screen with me, and we'll talk freely about transcendental consciousness. We'll have a question answer session. Okay, so get ready for that. I will send links to everybody. Thank you. Good night. Stay tuned with us. Thank you.